Why is recorded in front of a live studio audience.
I found a job for us.
Oh, thank God.
So there's a few downsides to it.
Okay.
We have to be in China.
Okay.
It only pays 32 grand a year. But
Okay.
I think the benefits stress-wise, and there's so many other things I feel like you wouldn't need to pay for with this job.
Okay.
So a viable career choice in China right now is at the with the job title, professional panda hugger.
Oh, completely.
So Giant Panda Protection and Research Center has a spot available. The job description: your work has only one mission, spending 365 days with the pandas and sharing in their joys and sorrows.
Aww.
Yeah. So you
I'd
have to
totally do
cuddle,
that.
feed, clean, and play with baby pandas.
My God, I would totally do that for 32 grand a year.
Right?
Yes.
So job descriptions, at least 22 years old, check. Basic knowledge of pandas. I mean, I've seen Kung Fu Panda, that counts,
Me
right?
too, a few times.
Okay, yeah. Be able to
Sure.
write, check. Know how to take pictures. Okay, we can fake it.
Right.
Yeah, you need perseverance for this job. We expect that applicants will be mainly white-collar workers from big cities that are used to eating whatever they want, but inside the giant panda base, the choices will not be plentiful. So, bamboo, is that what they're saying?
I'm thinking.
Yeah. Free meals, accommodation, and be able to use the organization's car. Does not mention if they have an adapter or some sort of dongle so you can plug in your phone.
Well, that's okay. Who do we need to call? We've got panda friends.
Right. No, but I mean, like, if you want to listen to music while you're driving around.
Oh.
Yeah, so we have until July 15th.
I mean,
Oh, and I clicked on the link, and unfortunately, it is all in Chinese. Okay, so it's not a perfect setup.
okay, but maybe we'll learn some Chinese while we're there.
Yeah.
This is Why, with your hosts, Heidi Hedquist and Luke Poling.
So that's what we got.
I think it'd be fun to go play with pandas. Could we
For a
just
year.
go and like play with them to help them recruit for the job? Like, could we do like an ad for the job?
I don't know. I mean, it says 365, so the fact that it's in China, I'm assuming taking like Easter off is going to be not cool.
No, but if we did the commercial for them, we would just go.
Right. Yeah. We couldn't ask for Independence Day off. That'd be really poor form.
That would be tacky.
Yeah. I wonder how they feel about like Arbor Day.
I don't know.
That's an inoffensive holiday,
Yeah, I
right?
think Arbor Day might be okay.
So
I mean,
if this all doesn't work out, we can go
play with the pandas.
cuddle with pandas. I mean, in the photo, the woman who is actively cuddling a panda is wearing one of those blue, kind of like the gowns that the doctors and nurses wear at the hospital.
Oh,
you know,
Scrubs. That's the
scrub.
gown.
No, not even scrubs, but like the disposable
Operating gown.
Yeah, and she's got gloves and a hairnet, which I'm not thrilled about. But
No, I'm not really down for that.
But
we could, like quote that, we could quote the Muppets Hospital all the time.
that's true.
Say that we'd gone to the dogs.
Yeah, but we would have gone to the pandas.
I know, but it would be funny still.
Yeah. What did
I don't know, but Miss Piggy rocked that outfit, so I feel I could rock it.
Right. Just do you think pandas have heard that stuff before?
I don't think so.
How long till the pandas are chasing us out of the enclosure with
Well,
like
the
a bamboo
pandas are
stick?
gonna love us. They're not gonna
You
want us.
think?
Uh-huh.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Stop quoting Sparks. Get out of here. Like,
No,
do you think
I
that's going to
totally
be?
think the pandas would love Sparks.
I'm just
We will
imagining.
work out an entire panda routine.
See here, because I feel like undoing millennia of evolution, teaching pandas how to tap dance or something.
No, that is like, I mean, we'll teach them not in a terrible circus kind of way. Like,
Well,
we'll
no, I mean, they're not going to have to ride a
gonna be
Schwinn.
panda
But,
friends, right?
right. Yeah. But
And if they've got a good song to dance to,
mm, Yeah.
I feel like they'll be all about this town ain't big enough for the both of us. That feels like the Panda Jam.
Yeah. Or Under the Table with Lin, I think would be another good
Yeah,
one.
that would work too.
Yeah. I just for years I've always thought like everything in my life goes to hell. Like,
Jesus.
what's the job I would want? You know?
Oh,
What's
if everything. You forgot the
if?
if.
Oh, I think I
I thought
said
you were
it.
saying like everything in my life goes to hell. And
Right.
therefore, no.
I need to cuddle with a panda. No, but for years I've always thought like worst case scenario. You know how
Mhm.
like you have that job in like high school that you keep thinking like that I didn't realize how good I had it.
Yes.
I never had that job. I feel like golf crew mower.
Yeah.
I would even go one better and say cemetery grass cutter would be the greatest job ever.
Well, yeah, because you wouldn't have to talk to anybody except for ghosts.
Right, you're outside.
See, the beer cart at the golf club, I think, would be the most fun.
I don't want to talk to people.
I like being like
Just
had
give me
inappropriate things said to me. I like that. So I'd be all
yeah, that definitely ticks all of your various boxes, certainly.
right. So, but yeah, I don't know. I don't like to mow things. I don't like the smell of fresh cut grass.
You don't?
Mm-mm.
And for me too, I think the other thing with it is that satisfaction of the job done. Beer, there's always going to be more people on the golf course wanting beer.
True. But I also like to leave them wanting more.
Oh, fresh cut grass. It's like, what did you do today? I mowed that entire, I mowed section F.
I know.
I mowed it the best anyone could ever mow section F of that cemetery.
The one that would be like satisfying for like the most satisfying for like
That mausoleum is shining.
the one that would be the most satisfying in that realm, but only for like 5 minutes. And then it would
Coco's family is going to come back and just be like, oh, not too bad.
well, yeah, they'll be very happy considering we go and like clean all the graves in my family every Memorial Day.
See,
and
exactly.
the neighboring graves that haven't been tended to.
Yeah, and just the fact, I mean, one of the things I love about walking around cemeteries is for physical exercise. Very few other people there.
True.
They always plow it in the winter.
True.
You're never going to get run over at a cemetery.
True. There's often flowers.
Yeah, and what I love too is as you're walking around, you just look at the various headstones and the thought of like, who has thought of that person? Maybe not today, maybe not this week, but like just I'm going to think about that person, look at the years of their life and wonder what they did. And I'm going to feel like I am, just giving these people a moment. I'm sorry?
Part of the fabric of their lives.
Much like cotton, yes.
No, I think that's very sweet. And it's very sentimental. And that's actually very lovely. Because I think there are a lot of
But,
No, I think there are a lot of people who don't have people think of them.
Right.
And whether they were a curmudgeon or generations died or moved or what have you. So
Exactly.
I think that's lovely.
So, but I've always had, if everything goes to hell, mowing at a cemetery seems like the perfect job.
Okay.
Pandas might top that.
And pandas are pretty sweet.
Throwing a book on tape.
Yes.
Worst day I would think ever with a panda. Maybe bath time. Maybe.
Oh, I don't think bath time.
I don't know how they feel about water.
Bathroom issues would be the worst.
Well, it's any sort of care and feeding of any human being or creature.
Panda, yeah. But the bath I think would be more fun. No, they like water, don't they?
I don't know.
Yeah,
They don't.
Pandas frolic in water.
I don't know. I told you the extent of my panda knowledge is Kung Fu Panda.
We gotta study if we're gonna.
I think Kung Fu Panda 2. I don't even if I saw the first one.
Oh, I saw the first one.
I just had, I missed the origin story. I just kind of got the next chapter in the I was able to pick it up in case you were wondering.
Good.
So how's it going?
Muzz.
Yeah. So how's it going? You've got the big show tonight.
Yeah.
Are you ready?
Yeah.
We're always ready. We were born ready. Listen,
Because they are professional.
Yeah.
we
Professional band.
are professionals in the sense that we didn't even have rehearsals this week. We canceled rehearsal because we had the show,
Wow.
which is a bold move, but also a very Muzz move. We're like, we play every week.
Yeah.
We are who we are constantly. So a show doesn't require us to be different than we are, because a show is showing you what we are in this moment at the present, where all of us are people with multiple responsibilities, demands on our time and energy. So, and we were on a radio show, live radio show last night. We're playing this show tonight, and our normal rehearsal is on Tuesdays. We're talking right now on a Thursday, right? So there would have been 3 nights of the week.
You've seen
right?
those guys way too often.
I love them. Listen, we are constantly in contact. When we're not together, there's like the text threads are just constant. So our relationship is not in question at all. It's more like the support mechanisms for us to be together 24/7 are a little harder to come by. And absence makes the heart grow fonder. There is something about, right? We're a trio, and I've talked about this before. The tension of the trio is essential to the music. If we're all available all the time for everyone, there's no tension in that. There's no longing, there's no desire, there's no flirtation, there's none of that juicy feeling. Then when we see each other, we want to be all up in each other's faces, musically speaking, of course.
Right. No, you want to musically play hard to get. I get it.
Yeah. You know, let the tension build over the week, and then we just bring it right onto stage. So we're excited to be with each other.
Yeah. Will they, won't they? I get it.
Like every great sitcom.
I was going to say like every great love affair, but sure, we'll go with
sitcom.
Hey,
Yeah, both.
I mean, that's what keeps it on for like 10 seasons.
That's what it is, maintaining the tension.
Yes.
And not having the tension override.
Right.
Is the fine point. And I think I was talking to someone else about this recently. I think we are very unique and fortunate, but also I don't take it upon us to just put this all on like good luck and good fortune. We've made some very specific decisions. We're very intentional in this band. It's not accidental. It feels like there's a lot of synchronicity. But opportunity is only as good as you are able to recognize it and then act on it.
True.
Right. And then be able to understand that you can create opportunities too. Right. So creating and then recognizing and then acting on it. This to me is like the magic, 3-step magic of improvisation.
Yeah. And it goes back to I can't remember who said it, but the idea that luck is probability taken personally.
I love that.
That's
what,
it's just doing the work and showing up every day, and sheer numbers, it's going to start tipping. I love that. Luck is probability taken personally. Yes. Being in a creative headspace, I think for me, it's an embodiment of my personality. So it is in everything I do. I have almost the same approach. It's almost boring in that sense, because I just treat all aspects of my life as an artistic canvas, right? There are some grounding forces, responsibilities and stuff. I have a very set schedule of childcare with my co-parent, right? So it gives me certain amounts of time where I'm not in charge and I can do the things that I want to do without my child needing that kind of care in those moments. So a lot of my lifestyle is built around when I'm always a parent, but when I'm like the lead parent in charge versus not, right? So then constraints become extremely interesting. What can I do? And I only want to make one trip to my car with gear because I don't have roadies.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
I have an old small car. I have an aging body that I'm starting to feel the aches and pains of. I have to train and take care of this body, specifically motivated by the intensity of our performances.
Of course.
I've changed my lifestyle for this band, willingly so, happily so, Because who starts a career like this in their mid-40s?
But it's so good.
A female, an Indian female in their mid-40s who's a single parent, living in the US, away from family, blood family and everything. And I run my own business.
That's fantastic.
Yeah.
I mean,
and I'm in this amazing
who doesn't?
band.
Like, this is what it's all about, right?
So there's no 20 under 20 and 30 under 30 for me.
No.
But I remember thinking too, I was like, if I started a list, it would be 45 over 45.
Yes, I agree with you.
I want the late bloomer stories of people who have come to the halfway point or whatever point. I mean, who knows how these things are measured anyway, but at a point in their life where so many people just kind of cave in and give in. And I can talk about all the systemic issues with why that happens, right? Especially in the West, we put a lot of the responsibility of change and transformation solely and squarely on the individual. I can talk about even how the therapy insurance establishment, I feel, is an extremely broken establishment. I'm a huge fan of support and help. That's what I do as well. But seeing it from the outside, like, this is a broken system. It benefits certain people that everybody stays sick and mentally stressed out, and that they feel like it's their own individual responsibility alone to fix it. And if they don't, they're somehow bad, wrong, or flawed. And I think what we're doing as a band, I know what we're doing as a band is saying what I do in every aspect of my life, is to bring a feeling of collective ability, responsibility, and awareness into the experience. That we are not alone. And yes, there are problems. There are huge problems on the outside. I say, I mean, we are part of the system, right? People blame the algorithm. Who is the algorithm? We are the algorithm. We are creating the algorithm. When people come complain about I hate social media. I'm like, it is a tool. Everything is a tool. We have 8 notes or 17,000 notes, depending on how you divide the scale, right? But we all have that available to us. How are we engaging with it? If social media, for example, was an entity, a person, what would your relationship with it be? Like a love-hate, conflict, push-pull, codependent, right? Narcissistic, codependent, weird relationship. So can we look at that instead and say, this is a neutral tool. How am I engaging with it? I've been making experiments now in community building on social media. I closed down my account. I'm an online entrepreneur, and I not closed it down, but I made it private. And the game inside has completely changed. The dynamic has completely changed because people are willing now to see, I'm willing to take a bullet for them, right? I'm putting my bottom line at stake. Nobody else does this, right? You're supposed to be visible to everybody.
Right.
So, right, it's all that. And then people follow suit. They're like, oh, you have this many followers, so you must be important, interesting, successful in some way. And I have always been a fan of mischiefs. Where are my favorite venues? The back door, right? The secret entrance, the little alleyway, right? The unmarked, graffitied, just nobody knows, but the few people know. Right? This is what the underground is. What we see above ground is only a fraction, right? There's a vast network of root structures underneath the ground, completely invisible to the naked eye. And that is where the juice of life is originating. The roots are talking to each other across miles, and we don't hear a word. That's my brand strategy. We are subversive in that way. We're an underground band. We're talking to you. We talk to people, right? This new single is a very mainstream sounding single on the surface. Did y'all hear it yet?
Yeah, I was going to say, I've been walking around the house for 2 days now, just kind of humming. Send, like, if you don't like it, send it back. Just over and over and over.
It's catchy, right?
It's very catchy. Yeah. It's got a good beat. You can dance to it. Everything you want out of a single.
Have you been dancing around the house?
It's sort of that Bob Dylan shuffle where you kind of just like look like
that counts.
You're fighting with yourself.
It counts.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Tell
But
me,
it's
tell me about your experience with the song. I want to hear.
no, it's really enjoyable. It's upbeat. I was expecting from our last conversation and what I had heard of your other stuff, a completely different sound. And it's sort of like, again, you spend time kind of thinking about it, going, well, how does this fit in with the Muzzins I know and love? And I think almost the fact that it is sort of this, at first blush, is an outlier, kind of makes you go like, okay, well, this is what you want from this music, stuff that is going to zig when you think it should zag.
Right.
And like you said about this expectations and what people want it to be, and it kind of, I think in an interesting way, opens it up to so many more options. And I was looking today, I believe it was on your Instagram account, the words you used to describe the band are so like, okay, yeah, this makes sense. And this song fits on all of these things. So at first blush, it doesn't feel like Muzzins, but then the more you think on it, the more you spend with it, the more time you just keep repeating, if you don't like it, send it back. You're like, yeah, I get it. I understand this fits. So
Yeah.
that's my treatise on why I like it.
You also don't have to. You're not obliged at all. Like I
No, Heidi
encourage
said it
dissent.
sucks. No, that's what Heidi
Yes,
said.
that's exactly what I
let's,
said.
let's talk about your feelings.
Yeah,
about
that's
this
exactly
song.
what I said. Yeah, no.
This is why we have two people on the show.
Good.
Except
We're three
the
of us.
problem
See,
is
we're in a trio now.
we
Yes,
are.
exactly.
See, now we get to have tension
Yes.
and miss each other when we don't
Yes.
see each other.
Yes.
Rife with tension.
Rife with tension.
So, but what made you
What did
kind
you
of
hate about the song?
I didn't hate the song.
Come on.
I
me
love
All right,
something to
guys, I gotta
play
go.
with.
You
I
two
know,
just
I
fight
don't
with each
want
other.
to come up with
Yeah.
Constant admiration, like it's fine. It's good. We love ourselves enough already. We can take it.
Oh, I agree, except I didn't hate the song. I got to come up with what I hated about it. No, I actually agree with Luke in that I love that you flipped the script, right? And I think that makes sense. And I think that's a really, I can't say it as well. Usually I'm the eloquent one.
Really?
No,
I mean,
yeah.
okay, yeah. But what made you decide to kind of go this route and do something a little more single formatted?
This song came almost as a creative challenge to us. Chris came into the studio once and said, hey, I have an idea. You know, and there's a little bit of a backstory, but not that much. But it was the gist of it is, what would Muzzins sound like if we took kind of the idea of like a mainstream stadium rocker?
Mhm.
The holding title for the song was Stadium Rocker for the longest time. Right? What would it be like for us to play kind of a Guns N' Roses-esque mainstream
Yes.
sounding song? What would we do with that? Because we're so not that.
Mhm.
That was the challenge to us. Like, I wonder what we would do with it. We very selectively play covers of songs. We're very particular about which ones, you know, they tend to be kind of either, slight like a mainstream artist, but they're offbeat, one of their like side hits or something.
Mhm.
And we have a lot of fun doing that. And it always takes a left turn, or it's like it gets muzzified, as we call it. Right. So we were like, how might we muzzify something that has this kind of just like a straight rock anthem feel? And that's where it came from. It was a creative challenge to us because we're always challenging ourselves to like explore new territory. And funnily enough, because we're so not a mainstream band, it's like, what would we even do with this? You know, and it's not that we haven't listened to all this music when we're growing up. Like, we've listened to, I mean, collectively between the three of us, the range of influences, which is why I can never answer an influence question, and they're kind of boring and pointless anyways, right? You're seeing the influence. This is what it is.
Right. No, exactly.
Right? So we come from such a wide range of influence, and we love a good creative challenge. So going off script for us meant, how might we make a song that's a big, fat, palatable at first glance, at first listen, right? Catchy. I mean, this is also me processing this in hindsight, because our creative process is actually much faster than this and much more intuitive than this. So Chris came in with like a beat, right? This straight. That's a straight rock
Mhm.
beat. And then I think Dimas hears that and of course puts some growling bass right on top, like chaka 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 chaka, right?
Oh, there's
all
definitely a
that girth.
face that the bassist should be making while they're playing that line.
Oh, always.
100%. It's a fat sound. And
Yeah.
Alex over at the Bridge Stage and Sound mixed and mastered this track. And I mean, it's girthy.
Yes, that's the
This is a
perfect word.
girthy
Yes,
track.
it is.
There is no other word for this track than a big, fat, girthy.
Girth rock, I think, is what we can
I
call
think
it.
Girth?
Yeah.
Girth rock is perfect.
It's
That
got
is
like
what
a
the
nice-
world's been missing, by the way.
The
Mm.
world
Because I
needs
am
more
a
girth.
believer. Yeah, the world needs more girth rock because I do believe that arena rock, there's just a special place in the world for arena rock. And it just, no matter what it is, I don't know, it makes things better. And I think girth rock can take that to a new level.
All right, this is happening right here, right now. We are
Let's just
we're
write this
inventing
down.
a new genre
Yep.
of girth rock.
Yeah, girth rock.
Tom is going to
All
be
right.
so excited.
Yeah.
It's perfect.
We make like stupid jokes all the time. Like all our banter is all like very thinly disguised innuendo, just for fun because we're like
Mhm.
kids, you know.
Well, of course, that's why we like you.
There's a
Yeah.
pedal called the girth pedal. Like we're like, oh, I need more girth.
Yes. Yes. It's
Fatter,
perfect.
fatter. I want more.
Exactly.
There's me just drooling all over it. You know, it's really fun.
Perfect.
And then I wrote the lyrics. I wrote the lyrics very fast, as it's usually the case. Probably in 15 minutes or less. But when I'm in it. I'm like, it's
Right.
completely channeled. It's a completely channeled experience. And my ethos, and I think the ethos of this band too, is like psychedelic revolutionaries of the underground, you know, so we're always going to have some sense of liberatory messaging
Mhm.
in our music, whether it's by feel and by notes, or if it's including the lyrics and the words. And so that's really, somebody asked me, does this have to do with your background as a professional chef? And I was like, well, I do talk about food a lot, but I became a professional chef because I make a lot of food references, because there's some, you know, initially it's like there's a setting, I think, in a restaurant or something. But it's all
No,
metaphorical.
mise en place can rhyme with so many different things.
It's really.
I think Sting said that. Yeah.
Yes.
So it's got this almost subversive messaging inside a very straight sounding song.
Mhm.
It's a song about boundaries. It's a song about saying no. It's a song about taking ownership of one's own wishes and desires and not giving up power, right? It's a
Mhm.
reclamation of power song,
Mhm.
right? If you don't like it, say no.
Yeah.
Coming from a place where so many of us have been socialized to nod yes when our bodies are screaming, no, I don't want this, right? And we've been conditioned into a perpetual trauma response of giving our freedom up, our internal freedom up. So this is an anthemic song to speak to that part of us that wants the permission and the power to set our boundaries, to know ourselves, know our desires, speak our desires, and set our boundaries and say no if they're being crossed or violated. Right?
And
how do you package that in the stadium rocker?
Exactly.
Right. And it's all of that contained in girth rock that I think like completely fits the Muzzins ethos. And you can kind of like hear and see it in this idea of like that it is this the experiential element of it, of you guys playing it live, and that sense of we're all in the room together, we're having this moment, we're doing this thing. It's just you're doing a different thing at a different speed, but it still kind of fits that Muzzins feel and like I said, ethos. This like, here's what we stand for. This is what this band represents.
This has
So,
always been important for me. I mean, yes, we play great music, I think, and it's not for everyone, which I'm very excited about. We're definitely very intentionally kind of a niche sound. We're a kind of a professional musicians band is kind of what I've noticed. It tends to be people with highly intellectual ability to hold kind of big concepts in their mind, ability to appreciate the art of the improv, of being in the moment, and of us playing our relationship, the mischief and the playfulness in the shows comes through in the recordings as well, I think, because we really genuinely enjoy playing music together. It's not a forced effort ever. And I have a kind of a standing internal rule of mine, like if there's any tension or it feels like there's stuff that needs to be talked through or worked through, we have to do that. We're not going to override that and just play the song. We open every single rehearsal with a jam. It's like an opening ritual almost of getting all the excess feelings out straight away into song. We don't even have to talk about what happened in your week or what happened, in your day. We just play it, and instantly the three nervous systems are in sync now. They have been co-regulated and expressed in an organized rhythmic fashion. So that's the arrival into the space already. And when we do that with other people involved, it is like a massive organism regulating itself, right? And coming into kind of synchronous harmony with each other, with consent. Everyone is allowed, the doors are always open for people to take a little break or step away and take a breather. I try to mention that at some point in the show every time, that this can get intense, it can get dark. We make it super accessible and playful for the people for whom we are meant. People will know right away. We're like an instant yes, no band. Like you will know right away, right? We don't waste any time. It's like it's a very specific filter. It's a very clear filter, right? If it's not palatable, it's probably not going to be, right? If it's not palatable immediately, if it's not evident immediately, because those who have come to us have been like, immediately, this is what we have been waiting for. It's like instant, and there's no doubt. And then the connection is very strong, and it's permanent. We have instant fans in so many places now. And it doesn't have to be that many people. I want a strong connection. I want a clear connection. I don't want lukewarm fans. What is that even? How are you a lukewarm? I'm not lukewarm about my life. No aspect of my life am I lukewarm. I have no lukewarm relationships, no lukewarm friendships, no lukewarm pursuits. Anything that does not fully catch my interest and engage my attention is meant for someone else. Please go find your people. I don't feel any scarcity or FOMO around saying no thank you or being said no thank you to. Then we both have clarity. You have integrity then. I respect you all the more. Don't be a sycophant.
And again, I think to circle back, not everyone can handle girth rock.
I mean, not everyone's ready.
Not everyone is, and it's okay. This is not even like a game of like psychological exclusivity or anything here. It's we like it fat and fuzzy and deep.
Yeah, it's just how it goes.
It's you want music that's unapologetic for what it is.
Exactly.
Yeah. And I think if the people making it, if the artists creating this thing have that feeling, that comes through inherently in the work. And I think, like you said, this sort of you don't want passive listeners.
No.
Or you want an active participant with the music, with what you guys are doing.
Let me segue. This is an excellent, you bring up an excellent point.
No, it's the first time. We'll write that down.
This could be the title of the episode. You bring up an excellent point.
Yes.
So good. But I'll do, this is a little side note about the state of the industry, where there's a certain prescribed script about what an artist's journey should be. And I'm doing bunny quotes for people who are listening, right? You play like a crap ton of shows in any place you can possibly get. You kill yourself over that, right? You spend all your time, energy, money. You pour your heart and soul into this thing. You take it everywhere. You get treated badly. You don't get paid, or you get paid late and very little, and maybe a few drinks for exchange of things. And it's like all the time that goes, and all the creativity really that goes into the music, it's met with this like very limiting script of what success as an artist and a human in the world, as a creative person in the world, should and could look like, right? It's a kind of a giant MLM scheme in reverse. Somehow I'm seeing like an upside down pyramid in my mind, where like there's a very rare handful of people, but we see them very visibly, that get the kind of a certain kind of attention and fame, again, fame in quotes. Very many of those few people cannot handle the fame. There's all the stories, right? And yet here we are, people are lusting after overnight success and going viral, and, then they don't know how to handle it, thinking that the world at large is going to solve your self-worth problems for you. And as I started off saying originally, it's not just on you, and it's not just on them. A lot of the times people push away their music, they push away their gifts, they reject themselves, hand them non-consensually to others and say, you love us because I don't fucking know how.
Yeah. That's interesting. And again, it comes back to this idea of the three of you, if, playing to an empty room, the three of you have that sort of the 3-point, the triangular nature of it, where you have two others to look to and lean on. And if that basis is strong, it's sort of like where you can support everything else that comes along with it. You've got two really good grounding forces to help keep it going. And also, two other people that you really love having the conversation with. Yeah. And if that's the center of all of it, then that's a pretty strong base on which to build your house.
It's a circle, right? It's a complete circle. 3 all make a triangle, but 3 also kind of give you like orientation for a circle, right? Or if you think of electrical systems, you've got like the 2 plugs and then the grounding, right? So it's a complete circuit. I feel like alone, ourselves, we are a complete circuit. And so then any number of people that join are grounded by the 3, the complete circuitry of our trio. And we play with others the way we play with ourselves. It's no different. So it's like they get an experience of our relationship to each other. And so it's very intimate, actually. Our music is extremely intimate music, as far as I'm concerned. The fact that somebody like me is the head of the arrow of this band on stage, right? I'm up front and center, is nothing short of a miracle. Someone like me with my background and my upbringing and my acculturation and my own proclivities and interests and history and experience, which has been very adventurous and very unusual, that I find these 2 people on the other side of the planet, and we form this band, and I wear things and present things and say, share ideas and say words and dress in ways, all of which at some point in the history of the world would be punishable by death.
Yeah.
This is not a small deal for me to make this music, which is why when it came to the part of the script where it's like you pay to play and be on a bunch of playlists all over the place, and I said, you know what, we're the band that does things differently. I want to see what the patterns are and then break the patterns. I don't think we need to do that. Our energy is very valuable. I want to be paid to play, right? Not just money. I want to be paid the attention, the respect, right? And not me directly, it is like what is coming through us as a collective, right? Because it is accessible to everyone, and it is, we are aware of it, and we're able to channel it and share it. I respect that. I respect how I have to maintain and want to maintain not just my physicality, but my kind of psychological and spiritual interiors, right? It's a constant, it's like a safekeeping the vessel. I feel like I'm in temple doing this, right? It's very sacred. And I don't get to talk about this in a lot of places, but I want to go to the people who want to hear this part of the music making process. We are thinking about even having kind of small, organizing small kinds of conferences or meets where these are the conversations that creative people and artistic people and musicians, etc., are dying to have. I want to lead those conversations. I want to facilitate those conversations and those experiences of people remembering why we do this in the first place. The artist journey, this is not an easy way to make money. Don't quit your day job. It's not for the money. It's not for the fame for me. I get a lot spiky with that obsession with fame. It's a very dangerous drug. I've been studying it for a long time. It's a dangerous drug, and it lives inside your mind 24/7. You can't walk away from it. You can't cold turkey that stuff easily.
Yeah.
So why are we doing this? Right? Why do you make this show?
I would say we do this show because I mean, part of it is the conversation between the two of us and then a guest, and kind of this journey of learning about other people and kind of trying to get inside another person. But, you know, I think in another way, and it kind of goes to what you were saying about music, you know, in the best case scenario, you hope an artist is doing whatever it is they're doing, music, painting, dance, writing. They're doing it because they don't have another choice. And that's their way of expressing it. And I think part of this show is our way of expressing some of this stuff and celebrating, you know, similarly what you're talking about, this idea of the group dynamic and everyone, you know, going somewhere together. I think on our best days, that's what we're trying to do with this show.
Well, I think on our worst days, we're trying to do it as well.
Oh yeah, we're just not doing it.
Achieve it as well.
Yeah, Wednesdays are awful for us, but
sometimes. But yeah, well, and I think it is to that point too. Just being able to the vast number of people from all corners of the earth, all walks of life, all to some crazy decisions they've made of passions and pursuits. And again, when you're talking to them, you have this commonality. Like, I've never been a professional mermaid, but I completely but I completely see where her path took her there. And if I were in similar circumstances, maybe I would have taken that path. So, and sort of seeing that we're all a bit more alike than we think, or at least the people we've found, with the exception of 3 or 4, but we don't talk about them. But we needed those people to remind us.
Exactly. Right. All elements of the path are part of the path.
Exactly.
They're all your path. You're never not on your path. I had this conversation with a client yesterday about not feeling like they were on their path. And I said, are you the pebble or are you the path?
Yeah. And it's
you're
not a straight
on it.
line. Yeah.
You are inextricably intertwined with your path where you stand right now. So it is your path, whether or not you like it. You may have some judgment about it, but it's your path. And I'm hearing from you both that this inherent human need for self-expression, for creative self-expression, it supersedes so many things. It is, I would say, a basic survival need. Often we will be socialized to think, survival comes first, and then everything else is like a hobby on the side.
Right.
how's that show that you do sometimes,
Right.
like that little side thing. Oh, that, the elders will indulge your passing fancy. And here you are feeling like this is the only time I feel like I have agency over my life. I have some intention. I have the ability to manifest that intention in whatever small way. Maybe you're not thinking about it quite so literally and explicitly until now. But from this moment on, every time you make this show, you may have a little drop of feeling that this is a genuine expression of me, not the truest, not the purest, not the highest. There's no valence to it, that it doesn't matter. But it's an expression of you. What all life around us, when we get out of like capitalistic, patriarchal systems of like some infinite, unlimited, unchecked growth constantly, like the universe is already expanding infinitely. Like we don't need the big corporations to help the universe expand. Like it's already happening.
Right.
So there's this illusion of labor and toil, right? That's embedded in kind of, I don't know, puritanical ways of thinking. And outside of that, life is just happening. Like everything around us is an expression of life. So the shows that come out of us, the music that comes out of us, the paintings that come out of us as an expression of life, there is no judgment to be had about it. It simply is. The plant grows, the flower blooms, the flower dies. And then it becomes, it becomes very expansive and kind of you're able to hold whatever happens on the path and see where you have internalized some like should scripts, right? Now you're supposed to do this. Like who said I have to be in front of 20 million, thousand, whatever lukewarm followers in some God knows where. I never get to see them. They are touching my energy and I never get to see them.
Right.
That feels violating, actually.
Yeah, it's creepy.
It's my energy. Like the voice to me is the most intimate instrument. And packages of my voice, right, and the sound that goes with it, are in someone's, they're driving through traffic swearing at somebody and it's like, oh, there's a song and there's another song. 62,000 songs a minute being released into I'm just making up statistics here, but like, it's a lot all the time. Like we're one of a bajillion, gajillion, just like passing things in the wind, like a bug on the windscreen. I'm like, that's not, I respect what we make a lot more than that. So it's okay if you don't like us. Say so. Unsubscribe. Go away. I don't hate you. Just I want you to live a good life for yourself with integrity. And let me do that also.
And if you don't like it,
Send
it back. That is the message.
there we go. Take It Back by Muzzins is available right now wherever you get your music. The band will be playing The Paradise in Boston on Saturday, April 8th, and the following week, April 13th, there is a brand new single coming out. For more information, check them out on Facebook, facebook.com/muzzins.music.
Why the Podcast is produced by the Professional Production Company. Please be sure to rate and review us on Apple Podcasts because we're shallow and need constant validation. For more information, you can check out our website, whythepodcast.com. And like everyone else, we're on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram.
Today's show was recorded and produced by Heidi Hedquist and myself from our world headquarters located on the second floor of the professional office building, centrally located downtown. Our reluctant executive producers are John Sauvé and Sandy Stone. Our willing producers are Rachel Allen and Randy Jeanette. Our intern is Zach Jackson. This one's for Philippe. Thanks for joining us. Flash, we're coming home.
Nigel, is that you? Are you here, Nigel?